everybody? It's your boy, King Crowder, checking back in with another edition of History You May Not Know, or History That Should Be Taught. Today's lesson, we will go all the way down to Camilla, Georgia. Georgia. Refocusing it back in. Georgia was known to have a massacre in Camilla based off Black people, again in history, trying to unionize and getting their right to vote as American citizens post the Civil War. This focus is about to be focused on because around this time in Georgia, 28 Black members were elected into the House of Representatives as Republicans. This was a huge feat post the Civil War of Blacks being engaged politically and using their rights to make things happen. The reason why this was such a big deal because of Philip Joyner. Philip Joyner was one of the first ones to get in there and make political actions and changing the law to help Black communities. You must understand around this time, the white Southern Dixiecrats fought against them even having the right to even be actively engaged in the political process. This is so crazy that, remember, Black people placed a rally and a march just to champion their rights, to have a good feeling of, we deserve the right to vote. We earned them in this country. They were literally remorsing over victory that they placed together as a group. It was such a phenomenal feat. It was such a great journey. Blacks began to organize, and they were marching like they did in those times, peacefully and quietly. You must understand, as they began to organize in Albany County to Camilla, some people were attending this political rally. People were peaceful, happy, and organizing, so the family, children, and kids together. As the rally began to go, the Black people in town began to see white people approaching them, threatening them. At this time, they were used to threats. They were used to hearing the type of language being discussed. They were not intimidated. They had nothing to fear because they did everything the correct way and the right way. The one thing that was truly sad, as they crossed the line in Camilla, white people openly fired in the range of the violence. So I want you to think if you at a Democratic Party convention, you're walking through a street, a festival, whatever. Openly, when you're walking through the street, imagine someone open firing on women, children, and men. The reason why it was such a tragic event was because they were really celebrating their new victory of those who went into political offices. As they were celebrating those political offices, people were literally gunning them down in the middle of the street just because they felt like they didn't deserve to do that. What was so tragic is that it was between 15 and 30 people that were killed, and the rest of the people had to abandon and run away to the swamplands and hide for safety. So while people are getting shot down behind you that you can hear and visibly see, people were literally laying in the middle of the ground as they were running. People had no idea what was going on. You had no fathom, no way of thinking. It was just pure mayhem and panic. The only thing that really unjustified the people that were in the Georgia area at the time is that the United States government did not come down and champion and negotiate to get the thing correct. It took the Freedmen's Bureau, which we would discuss later in bigger detail, that was a Black branch that had to come down to restore order and get those Black safety, but legal, money, medical supplies. The Freedmen's Bureau had to go in there and also talk to the survivors about what happened. Over the next few weeks, Camilla residents began to get beat down and target local Blacks that were even near there. So they let them know during our local election, this would never be happening again. And when the next election turned out, all of the Black seats did not get re-entered in a win. So I want you to think about this for a second. Prior election, when they came to, Black people filled the seats up predominantly. After the beating, the killing, and the terrorizing of the communities, none of those Blacks were re-elected. No investigations was done, no call to actions, no discussion, no conflict resolutions. This voter suppression blatantly and illegal habit happened in American history, and it's not talked about. As you see this story carry over time, even though it was a long period of time ago, you began to see the nepotism begin to spread in some of these places. Knowing the history, knowing how these events happened outside of Atlanta. Remember this, y'all. This is in Georgia, the place where the mecca of black people live. But if you ask the average person what happened during this massacre, during this event that suppressed the voting of certain individuals, they couldn't tell you. The reason why I'm doing all this content, y'all, I just want to give you snapshots, a point in history of the American history that we don't talk about. We always talk about the one version from the white male perspective. Now it is time to alter it, to give it the American perspective. Because we're doing ourselves a disservice when we don't tell the actual truth behind things and how they happen. All facts, no feelings, y'all. And when you tell the truth about things, no feelings can be involved, no biases or perspectives can happen. Again, as we wrap up on Camilla massacre, the voter suppression, and how Georgia had its own civil rights action prior to the big civil rights movement. Please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I'm still a young channel getting started, learning, getting my momentum going. I want to appreciate all who have been watching, seeing my progress and my steady growth. I want to thank you all. Peace.